the various observations I have with regards to the limited voters registration exercise. No, wabra ye kwa anymore and come twetwe ye de bebra. Richard Marube, a member of the NDC communications team, ye hear him say obeba fia no obeka enkomo no. But was studio say lawyer Meranimuni Eric Delano Alifo Esquire. Yeah, was a president of Lawyers in Search of Democracy. Or I say in fact, and Komom Yenunam Pesiedi, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Cheya, His Excellency Nanado Danko Kufado, Evan say, I say, Miase, Ye Kase China by I was found on the call level for Fra, which you His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Ghana Bar, a conference from Yen Nanu Yafa, the balancing of the judiciary. See a benya. And Kwafua Umudimu Mabia Ghana Del Makoma, so regardless of our political affiliation. Nan Kwaya say, Amanyo Kwafua Binkwan, ye Pakiomo, Ediomo Kogu, a ye quarter no Sankomono, Yabatin Tenafe Yaba, limited voters registration exercise. No so. Lawyer, good morning to you and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. How are you doing?
By His grace, we are fine. And many lawyer Bapoto, Ewa Brofo Semu. Yakwa and you church and in Richard as a kind one, and also near what observed so far with regards to a year limited voters registration exercise, or the and Kono. But lawyer,
yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is there a problem with balancing the judiciary for which His Excellency John Dramani Mahama had to make a clear call on the need to rectify it? Is there a problem? I mean, when you look at the judiciary currently in the state in which it is there a problem?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers and also your listeners.
Absolutely.
Because you're also on
radio.
We're
on radio,
right?
Power 97.9.
All right, so good morning to them all.
Yeah.
Yes, for me, I will start from the kind of the judgments or rulings that are coming from the court, and then the attitude of the court to cases that are going to the court. That seems like a problem for many of us in the country. And so I think that a lot of people are complaining because of the perception that whenever people go to court to fight for their rights under the Constitution, the courts are not helping them very much.
As in the judgment?
Yes, as in the
judgment.
Seem to be
tilted?
Yes, that is the way, that's the perception. And I also see that judgments that have been coming from the court for some period now, especially under this regime, under Nana Akufo-Addo's regime, is problematic. That I want listeners and viewers to understand this point very well.
Okay.
That is a problem I have. However, if citizens, the courts, you say justice emanates from the people, so the courts are there for us. The courts are trying to administer justice in the name of the people of Ghana.
Yeah.
And they are paid by the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
And so they need feedback from us. The way they are performing, the people need to
evaluate
give feedback. Yes.
Yeah.
And so if the perception of the people is that there's a problem, then we have to listen to them. And the citizens have every right to express their opinion. And
but hold on, is it just about listening to the people who hold this perception or trying to appreciate if this perception is real?
Well,
and per what you know, is this perception real?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The judgments that are coming from the court is problematic, and the attitude of the court, especially even look at the recent processes that have been filed against the Electoral Commission from embarking on this. Limited. And the courts have not, in fact, they have even set a date, 17th, to listen to an injunction application, which would have stopped the EC from embarking on from starting the process yesterday. And the court gave a date in October. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. So when you look at this, you see, I am a little reluctant to go all out and say that perhaps the justices that have been appointed, they belong to a particular political party. But what I want to explain is that, you see, we have every right, people have the right to express their views if they think so. And President Mahama, the former President Mahama, is a citizen of Ghana. Besides, he's also the leader of the largest opposition party. And so if he has observed anything about the judiciary, he has every right to state it, and I will defend that right every time. And then also because he's a leader of the largest opposition party, he's listening to his followers. He's listening to members of his party who are also Ghanaians. And so he has to also express their aspirations and their views, and that is what he has said. And so if he says that he thinks that, or the people that his followers think that the court is imbalanced, there are judges over there that belong to a particular political party. He has every right to state
to express that view.
And I will defend him every time. And so the balancing is important because of what he believes.
And before I bring in Richard, as a lawyer, as an astute lawyer, do you feel it is problematic where a situation where the Ghana Bar Conference, Ghana Bar Association Conference, the president actually indicated, the former president, who is a Ghanaian and has every right to express his view, was literally lashed at,
yes,
for making those views.
Yes.
And these are, for some people's commentary, these are lawyers who are supposed to defend dissenting views.
Exactly.
Were you surprised at that move?
In fact, as for that one in particular, the group, the Lawyers in Search of Democracy, the group that I lead, we have even issued a statement. And we have also lambasted the Ghana Bar Association for presenting his platform for the president to be overly partisan, to bash his opponents. And so we believe that the Ghana Bar Association is doing the bidding of the MPP government. Over a period of time, we have been stating this, and now we are even more bold because of what happened. It happened, I think, about 2 years ago, and then last year they also offered a platform for the Attorney General and the President to bash John Mahama and bash the NDC, and this time they did it again. So that is why many of us did not even go to the conference, because we wouldn't want to go and sit down there and then we'd see the president come and then bash the party that we belong to, and then we didn't have any voice to raise any issues at all. We just listen and take it and then go away. So we issued a statement. First of all, we said that, look, President Mahama, like I said, has every right, if he thinks that the judiciary is not balanced and they are appointing, when you go to places like United States, for instance, the presidential candidates even campaign with the fact that when they come, they would want to appoint judges that believe in certain ideologies and philosophies. It's not so much about the parties they belong to.
But ideology.
Yes, ideology and philosophy. Here, we don't have any stark differences in our ideologies and philosophies.
That's right.
Although we do have some. So if the judges are appointed, there must be some considerations that whoever the appointing authority is maybe using. And it may be partisan as well. And we are looking at the people that are being appointed. And then as for us lawyers, we are more even particular about the judgment that is coming from the courts. You see, so if these judges want to prove their worth, to show that they are objective, even though they may have belonged to one political party or the other, but they are objective, they want to administer justice fairly, would have been saying it in their judgment, and we are not saying that, and we are worried about that.
Okay, I'll come back to you with how we can cure this. Wabra this and come away. Banary, but Mammy for Richard Manorebe, Emran Comoni, Major Richard Memoachi Mwakwa. Yamina Darma, Busha for a member of the NDC communications team. Yen come away, Asho. To say, a lawyer, can one who say a problem, say, you beg Ghana Bar Association conference. Ase. Na yalamba se openia watcher na adwen wade bia wo hunu se entwa ye ekoso wo memo. In fact, lawyer Kraji tum say what said the atemu ahodo aba no ono ankasa nso de nani ade eche hunu se atemchia ekoso ehwa enimwaye. Enfa na ogina wo sankomo yi.
Amazing.
Nyamena dawo.
Boko. Me challenge your chief also.
Good.
Na kwanta for gina chiao.
No fire.
Obi ahu yenso. Na kwami yemi shaw na juma pa wo ye. Na Brentia Kawakru. Kumaya dino, Munini Umaria Chitre. Because I am now bottom to sign a saya. Nadoro no bossy, and now I wouldn't say the DBC.
My fancy.
Now, coming. Yeah, so Kruma. Now, Mumbinumudia, independent media. You know, I'm a media practitioner as well. And I mean himself. And then most of the times, near Sacrum high media ownership and politics. The Mumudia, Mario, my imagines, and the crown and Becca. I'm a Ghana 40. Now, Chroma Edino, and I'm a catcher for Namisham. Namisham fire for now. Coffee by and so I have Papa Jules also. Namisham. Amen. Now, on my penny John Dramani Mama Seven Chow. Now, what you that be answered? Generous. I ain't by 7th January 2025. Now, my council, are moving movie for Independence Square for the swearing in of my penny John Dramani Mahama. Now, at me, boss economy. Now, the Ghana we want, and they are building a year. That's not apprenticeship program. But now, we are now the new university, 24 shift economy. When you say about now, come here. I had 24 hours. Now, when you say, I'm going to ask them now. Now, I'm going to MPP for no see how is that possible? Come here, so MPS. my MPS.
That's right.
How many economy is it running?
Oh, so I can't say more. That's a 24-hour economy.
Only Legon Hospital. How many economy is it running?
And also a 24-hour
Only
economy.
Gas. How many economy is it running? Only how many economy is it running?
Matthias.
So these are visionary leader. All the come here.
Benin ye carbon.
And I come say the India. And anything I would say and fraud boys in almost another Becasa or Munko Jumao. And I own Oh no, fraud boys in just market. Watch it critically. Not for news in journalism. Fraud boys in another Becasa Munko Jumao. I'm a charmer Becasa. Oh, I'm a charmer Becasa. I'm a decoding.
I'm a lawyer.
Yes, I'm a decoding new software. Charmer Becasa. Now be our what deal over millions of dollars. I just to Tokuru, on the name to Krumo di Tokruno. Wouldn't say, any papa. Into a media, Nyoka Yanano, share at 70, maybe a wood journal. I say, Umbuno. I'm not insulting the president, but I'm just being real. Come it is we the Ghanaians that went and voted for another Danko Akufo-Addo. You promised us one district, one factory. You promised us justice in this system, this country. Which I say, Obedi president will be at top padlock of Krumha. Are you aware he told us that? So they were going to be a protective security. And the Kokrum only padlock into Obia locking it then 1, 2, 3 and not me other. Insecurity in this town is there. Oman John Dramani Mahama, he believed in the justice system in this country. Now when you Obia, why building the justice system in this country? And Oman John Dramani Mahama. Who another Danko Akufo-Addo, why be said justice system? I pam Obia for all the MP before they are caught to. Who say my anchor?
At the end, I tell what it's what the MP before I got to.
My
evidence. There
were 15 justices in this country. Oman Penny John Dramani Mahama, Ninko for appointed or 2. No, 2. President Kufo on the appointed 1. 12 no, Nana Danko for the appointed. We have incident and evidence. There's some justices on the Superior Court today that contested parliamentary elections. Are you not aware? We have incidents that we know that some of them will belong to political parties. And the president is saying that so he will balance it. Equity.
Are you saying so? His Excellency John Mahama appointed, they don't belong to political parties. I'm
saying we don't know their political stand. But your justice has been there, anyone political stand. I contested parliamentary seats in existence. And Oman Penny will say when he comes, one case of the Pamomo, he will balance the system. That we have equity. So the CPP knew. We are LPG new, we are Kuyadonko new, we are NDC new. If you are fit, and you serve as a counsel, serve as a lawyer for 15 years with high reputation and high moral reputation, and you are fit, deemed fit with your integrity to be a judge, I will not look at your political party. What's it? Common sense. Do you need a PhD to think?
So is it the case that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Yabua for a president of GBA, Omante Asemana. John Mahama,
when is chromophobia and the problem in English? Anonymous.
Oh, how?
No, I'm telling you the fact. And two criminal the quarter have said, Obia, as you know, most of the criminal cases they speak Tree. They don't speak English, if I'm not lying. Chromophobia, the problem in English.
Counsel, is it
no, counsel is here.
Is it true?
Counsel is here.
No, after here we see the truth. I mean, is that the truth? Is it true?
Maybe
what he knows.
Maybe most of them are not well educated. That's why they don't do.
Oh, okay. Case close. Okay. Case close. Case close.
Wow.
Tie Oman Penny John Dramani Mahama kaburo fo a. Obi bia o krom haneti. No be show obi anti ne oka. And yes, and you learn no better education. No, you me adum na oti ye unya akwanya ekwatena land ekwatena US not US for it doesn't mean you are educated. Education is even different from common sense. We are looking at a domestic president, a president who started as an assemblyman to the vice president to commander in chief of Ghana Armed Forces and opposition leader. Not a president who live in London and come and cause confusion and go back and cause confusion and go back and become a president. They are difference.
Okay, it is
a difference.
Yeah.
I am disappointed in them. You created a platform. It's a deliberate platform. They send it to central region because we are getting grants in central region. So I'm penny about John Dramani Mahama. What do you mean by that? See, Ghanaians know. It's clear. We have confidence in Ghanaians. They know then they one district, one factory, 1 million per constituency, no mania. The responsibility of the MPP today is corruption. No, what GBA Hutchins say is fighting corruption with concrete. Hey, Nana, you are fighting corruption with concrete. What concrete? It's a well cemented these grounds. And maybe say the part there now. Ask can you say he has confidence with him, no? I was saying.
In her.
Who the not don't call you appointed a special prosecutor in this country. Martin Alamisi Amidou, who was the Attorney General, your colleague, all of them have been Attorney General before. Okay, corruption risk assessment on a Japan. He said what? Corruption risk assessment on a Japan. Or can I send me a Ghana for NT? Or see the president in his report, the president and the presidency. Oman penini asuye ye. I just say, now a presiding member kahu or MPP ni. This year kahu. Ranking members in parliament, they are all MPPs or kahu. Members of states, deputy ministers, president staffers. That's Oman penini asuye ye. They are entrepreneur of corruption. You can't entrepreneur of corruption. What you say? Maybe I'm going to say dream. Can't
Omudi kata say project.
Don't go me no be adi. Oh yeah, no answer. O see the president and the presidency. Oman penny asuye ye is a loamy soil of corruption. You know what loamy soil is? We all know the type of soils. Baby, I would join Dubai na eye no. Ahono. The president is the loamy soil of corruption. Into so called lobby house wa. It's a loamy soil of corruption. This is what happened. Obiribo in the kai onyam na me kai. Obiribo in the kai. Was the time we come first conference Cape Coast no. Yeah. Almost to ask our president no original Afrikiku. No man 3,000 pe. About 3 billion no mo de koy. Onyam na me kai. You heard it clear from him. Aso na question say. Onyam na me kai you. Onyam na me kai.
Into point to the say.
Na me ba. Oh see, he is fighting corruption, concrete corruption. After original sebi e kan say hunu e kire Oman Penny John Dramani Mahama. Onyam na me kai you. Nyante te say division 3. Okwajia no amanu baako Oman Penny die baako no so afa baako. Corruption akwase say. Anche bia bukri na busi second tranche of money is going. And I want to make this point clear. And I say you must fight with you. Kwame. And then IGP echo way. Committee na national security so echo ne. Why? Omu din wo ho. Bukri na abu ebo Oman Penny na dan kwa akofo do din wo ho. Ona wa money din. Oboni din. He must also appear before the committee.
That talk say tape no.
Yes,
or no, and nanado. And number 2, utie tape no muso was see first tranche of money has come. So the old man you want to send another one to old man. Now old man anya nanado kwa akofo do. It will also share be. We must appear before the committee. They come to tell us that you are just starting Oman Penny John Dramani Mama. Look, under Oman Penny John Dramani Mama, and the judicial system, look at the court complex. When they see it, and compare judicial system we are and Kobesi. Uba and justice for building Oko Drigu. So, and they go to Tokuro. On no more. Very well. So, we are telling you that we are serious as a country. So, the kind of politics the MPP is doing, with them assign warning. Oman Penny John Dramani Mama is not ordinary. He has passed through everything and is now waiting president. So if GB Ghana Bar Association, please I beg you, you must make sure you emanate justice. You go to argue with our cases. We are just we are your clients. Now say him so bit when I say so nipa where we are not so we are not me kwa. What's my faith? And I want to say who lawyer you know your MPP ni. Oh yeah sure yeah. And who so just chief justice now to on Supreme Court judge now so to on we your MPP ni. Na me so me client and me kwa MPP ni. Me kwa share MPP na tembo no benye say. We look at justice. Okay. And no man say I'm coming to balance it. What's a big deal about this? Let's be serious as Ghanaians. Very well. Richard, so meaning say in terms of solutions, lawyer, I'm sure you'd agree with President John Dramani Mahama when he talks about the need to balance the judiciary going forward. Yeah. But there's a link, as far as this conversation is concerned, there's a link to what's happening with regards to the ongoing voters registration exercise. Now, Johnson has said in Ketia, national chairman, in person video, no. Johnson has said in Ketia, national chairman, Emma NDC, Amanyuko, or draws our link, no. Ejina so di busa say, on my ye pesi ye any hosa because NDC, any other political parties, any same year concerns are a far limited voters registration exercise no echo court yentina se ne yeni asem ya yesi si ye tu kwanti je oba ansa ne yedi asem no ogina so de de afutuo bi etu dwatie we
ye hihye court say ebebo timamufo ho ban free aban bia why na dwen say ode atutrasem ebebu oman no otua na mon bia say court bo no break say we untimi mfa ni amanfo a ye de etumi ama o say hwe wo so no enti ye de asem kodan court a afa de court no ne ye mu kire say wo mo ne aban no kura akwa apam say nsisi timamufo na kuro bia saa de no beba so no menteme ho ase ba ena basabasaye etimi ba.
So I don't know. Johnson says that's the beginning of how problems in some of these countries where instability is, commences or starts. Yeah. What's your view on that?
Yeah, he's right. And first of all, let me explain the balancing a little bit. You see, the balancing is very important. You see, the way these things are balanced. For instance, is again we normally always use the United States as an example. You see, over there we have the conservative judges and then we have the liberal judges. Yeah. Yes, so you see that whenever Republican Party they are appointing judges, they like to appoint judges that are conservative.
That's
people
right.
who believe in they don't believe in LGBTQ rights, abortion rights, and all of that. And then the presidents that will be produced by the Democratic Party, they like to appoint liberals because it is very important that they balance their thoughts in coming out with judgment. Because the people in the country, there are several people in the country who believe in they have different cultures. So over here, what happens normally is that for the Court of Appeal where 3 justices sit, and then the Supreme Court where about 5 or more till about 9 sit, whenever they hear a case, they go back into conference. And then they find out the views of all of them.
That's right.
Now, what do you think about the case? Because now they want to come out with the judgment, so they have to have a conference, their own conference. So they vote. They vote on the what is your view and what are the reasons for your view and all of that. Then they vote. Then somebody will elect to write the judgment, and then they will support it. Or when there's division, somebody will write for the majority, somebody will write for minority. Now, it is very important that when a particular president is appointing justices that anybody believes that they belong to a particular political affiliation, it is very important that people or justices from the other major political affiliations should also be there. So that when they hear matters and they go for their conference and all of them are asked to bring their views, the views will be balanced before they come out.
They would have considered every standpoint.
Exactly.
That reflects the society.
Yes. So that is the point. And so that's why I said if President Mahama believes as a citizen of Ghana, he believes, and then he also believes that his followers all think that the way the justices are appointed is tilted, and then there's a need for him to balance. And so I don't see anything wrong with that. Then coming to what... the
limited voters registration.
The limited voters registration. You would see what happened. The national chairman of NDC says that is how these problems begin, and I do agree with him. You see, the problems are just beginning. In fact, if I were to be an opposition leader, I would have even called for a complete boycott of the
exercise.
Yes, I'm telling you, that's what I would have called for.
It won't go in your favor.
Well, no, then we call the people to go on the street.
Okay.
There has to be a showdown. We have seen it happen in.
There has to be a what?
A showdown. You see, and we have seen this happen in other countries. We see it happen, and we think that it cannot happen here. It can happen here. So we have to. You see, when we call for, if I should be the opposition leader and I call for a boycott, I know clearly that if I call for a boycott and I don't do anything subsequently, it's going to go against me. It means that will be the beginning of a struggle, a serious struggle. You call the people onto the street, you let them see that, look, if we are boycotting, if we will not go ahead, then nobody else can go ahead. It means that our democracy is stalled at this point until things are right, until they put things in proper perspective before we can move ahead.
But
so that is what should happen.
You're dealing with a political party which is in power.
Yes.
That is saying that it is going to break the 8.
Yes.
So if you decide to say, look, you're not going to be a part of the exercise, would that not go against you?
But if you also know the outcome...
Because I know they are mobilizing people too.
If you also know the outcome of the exercise already, right from now, and you know that if you belong to it, you're only playing to their game and they will still beat you, then what's the end game? So the point is that we have seen the people's power elsewhere that have broken very hardened government. We have seen it before, have we not? Yeah. People go on the street, they go constantly every day. You know, when they go on the street, because what everybody is afraid of is that when you go on the street, you'll be brutalized. But see, the brutalization by the police is what makes more people even get angry, you see, and then come on the next day. And then you see that more and more are coming, and they cannot kill all of us in the country. So if you start the process, you have to know that you are pushing it to the end. You won't start the process and leave it midway, because when you leave it midway, these people are very determined, and we can see what they are doing. You know, even in the police hierarchy are talking about putting people in charge of the police service to make sure that they break the eight and all of that. Yeah, we are hearing all of that. And so we have to we know that they are determined to steal this election. And we are seeing the signals right from now. You see, and then somehow we believe that, oh yeah, we can play along with their game and still beat them. It is their game. They are the master of the game. And so when they said, well, you know, the reason why they are doing this registration in the district offices, the real reason people have to understand is that they don't want too many people to get on the register now, because next year they are going to come out with a CI that will require only the Ghana card for registration. And the basis of what you're saying is coming from where? But even I even heard Dr. Bosman Asare. He didn't put it this way directly. Yeah. But he said that because they do not believe in the guarantor system, is putting people who are not qualified on the register. And that is why they've decided to do it at the district offices so that they can control that situation. And then he talks about, they said they are working on a CI. CI that will make the Ghana card. That's what he said. I heard him. But you see, the signal is very clear. You would recall that, or many people will recall that, they attempted to pass this CI in Parliament last year. They went to Parliament with the CI and said that, look, it requires, you need to have a Ghana card. There will be no guarantor system. You need to have a Ghana card before you can get on the register. We don't know what the EC is going to do next year. We don't know whether they're going to say that. We don't know whether they are going to discard the voter register we have currently and do a complete new registration asking for only the Ghana card. And we know how the Ghana cards have been issued. Or we don't know whether they are only going to say that, oh, we shall only do another limited registration and you need only the Ghana card. But when they went to Parliament with the CI, the minority, what happened at that time was that it was a time that we were just enrolling on the IMF program. And then the IMF needed Parliament to pass some taxes. You see, so minority says that, look, if we allow this CI to go through, we will not help you to pass those taxes. You see, what should have happened, which didn't happen, which I have a little problem with our side in Parliament, was that, you see, when the CI is laid in Parliament, it is not something that will be debated at all. For 21 days, even if it's not rejected, it has become a law. And the only way it can be rejected is to have 2/3 of Parliament to vote on it. When you vote on it and it's rejected, the EC cannot bring the same CI back. So what should have happened when majority, if they were really, really serious that they were going to get the minority to help them pass the taxes, what they should have done is that we'll allow EC to lay the CI, will all help you vote and reject it, so they cannot come with it again. And then you help us. But what they did was that they told EC that, oh, just withdraw it, go and reconsider it and bring it back. And then when they said so, then the minority helped them to pass the taxes. The EC now went back after the taxes were passed. The EC now went back. So Parliament cannot dictate to us. It's only advice. We won't take the advice. So they are preparing to bring that same CI back next year. And when they bring it back next year, majority is not going to cooperate anymore with us because it will favor them. What they want, because we know how they have issued the Ghana cards. So it is because they know that, and they know that it may not be possible for them to discard the voter register right now. So they may only have to do limited registration next year. They will do it next year. And I believe they will do it either in all the polling stations or the electoral areas. But at that time, it will be only based on the Ghana card. So if you don't have the Ghana card, you can't register. Nobody will guarantee for you. What should be done to serve as to deal with the situation? Look, dealing with this situation, this is history that the leadership is very intransigent. The kind of remedy I would suggest, everybody will say is too radical. I am saying that, you see, some of these things we have to just boycott, tell them in their faces that they are working for us. You see, they always run to the Constitution, that Article 46 that says that it's an autonomous body, independent body, they can. But it is not correct. They are working for Ghanaians. And so if Ghanaians are speaking, and then we have even chiefs speaking, people are saying that what you are doing is not helping, it's going to bring war, it's going to bring problems, and they are not listening, then we have to begin to give them a showdown. Let's let them see that, look, we are not just going to sit down for you to just cheat us. That is what we have to do.
anya botuntun sansan lawyer kasa wasi mama easy to show down
na say easy
Richard
say easy need there ono no why no hu say why say electoral commission kono MPP headquarters anes na ye be rebranded that office to become a democratic office and I can assure you I can assure the mensa remote na omo remote ni nyina no ye ho battery na enche be battery no be wu look we have seen independent electoral commissioner Afarijan before we have seen independent electoral commissioner Charlotte said before na MPP electoral commissioner Jean Mensah so and we all have experience in this things and we taxes now oye nyina no nyina eni come in 2019 no omu project about 80,000 people now register you are aware 2019 they projected over 80,000 people are now compulsory register and they opened over 2,500 centers now you register today almost started some money ban say and Crawford now almost at the 18 and want to me they are projecting over 2 million after that we are only open 275 200 I think 280 or 245 centers what's the logic in this you see
benya ba ya shasi
no ya shasi
mfidie nya adwuma nipa kakra bi na
almost kwa Ashanti region kwa East region kwa mfidie nya adwuma 24/7 kwa Oti region kwa Volta region kwa North region mfidie nya adwuma mfidie na ase dadada no ene na wasesa dia kwato to make sure say yentu aba come make sure say register ya register be within 18 years no on birth certificate na no beto aba Adai.
Na within ni woman.
No, within ni woman. Why do you disadvantage me? Me and man, we are coming. Listen, when you say Kodio for assembly, have you listened to the Kodio report? When you say Ghana Blind Union, omo issue statement. Persons with disability, omo issue. That's right. So many. Listen, coming. Say unim obi after achimjigbe. Every achimjigbe, this anybody brown yasi. Every brown yasi ya so we drunk kwanta. According to no, it will take him almost 100 Ghana cedi. Okonyes kanu. Meanwhile, MP before the boss as you. Who end this in your mouth?
My own video be a 200 cities.
Yes, who end this in here? Yes, who end this in here? Omudem foul. Because they know their people.
Namoso munye
Come, ye ni sika yankwa wiaska bia. Sika na ye no, ene dey that say kwan, ene dey say school adan, ene dey ye we. Enti who ye Ghana ni won say, emfa so e beba mu ama wo no. Pacho bo ahu na ye bi, den to ye abenfu we. Ene ka kire aban no say, hwe, ne o ye ni. Anya buga na modi wi na aba. Anga buga na modi wi na banka 2016 anga ndc atimi awi na aba. But when the people rise against you, your money cannot do anything.
Lawyers say mo show down.
Me see your money cannot do anything. No Jane Mensah no. As a chairman, the chairman general Kaya no. You must take ingredient from it. So a ban beep the person for you who yemba kroma when they started. Come, I said it on this platform. 2019 elections registration. When is me call registration? I must be a full and no one register.
Me kasa.
Me kasa. Obi a contest parliamentary elections o. I must be a full and mama register. That better be a full and they make everything possible. Say they should make sure say our people not to register. But I can assure Jane Mensah by the close of today, one quite changing for now. Your show down all cano. If a man show up down and you show down quite every man. Show up down. We will never sit down. We will never sit down for this woman to destroy our democracy. We will never sit down for this woman to run down the economy of the country. Minuti or brain in a brain and crowfo we. Come Osuha. Osu.
I didn't see him.
Come Osu.
Metamaso.
A boy, yes, no, Omunamuhana, Omuyajmana Jono. Then it's like a boy 11. No more and then
but you're right.
But 2 o'clock. 2 afternoon. After Brian Kwana. Nobody come in. Coming. Who they have for boat and boat. My only boat to run Casa. Nippon only boat to run only Casano. Ubesana. No, your accountant or bank.
Okay.
No, or your teller or no, relationship officer or bank. What go bank no? And then also buy what traffic light. Omoton attached the crime quality.
Yeah, Richard.
Attached the crime quality. They were working teller 1, teller 2, teller 3 in the banks. You call out the bank. Nippon so acquire registration. So on to a bank you also that the bank registration no. open all the means to make sure you win power. Yes, we will run you down. You see, if you dare do this thing, we will run him down.
Okay.
And she should be very careful because from the commissioners now more MP before.
Right.
It's clear. And we respect the electoral commission. We brought electoral commission. But the electoral commissioner is a problem.
But I say Richard Monorebe and Atene Kano, member of the NDC communications team, and I think so. Esquire Eric Delano Alifo also what Kano pay. It would Dwabo Ase with power 97.9 and I feel so TV XYZ every no and Yaswano. No, near 1,000 cities for Mensaka promo. No, the number is a number saying the catwalk. In fact, on Saka see a da or phone so or China Mia Doma. You best have an argument and said, "Yes, yeah, no, yet me at was. I do my near power, dear, or the power mid morning, Ebremus is here.